Dun, 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 dun.
I always love opportunities to learn, and a lot of projects out there, especially from independent studios or studios that might be lesser known, give people an opportunity to do that. This film, I'm sure, will be like that in that regard. It's a documentary, and I love documentaries for the learning reason. So this is a long name. Some people are just calling it All the Streets Are Silent. The full name is All the Streets Are Silent, The Convergence of Hip Hop and Skateboarding, 1987 to 1997. So this is back like in the late 80s to late 90s. I was born in the late 90s, but I'm not familiar with, I didn't grow up in 1987. So this is not a cultural aspect that's familiar to me. I mean, I used to do like I've never been like a big skateboarder. Like I'm not Tim Pool. I'm not any of these ever bigger guys who are like, hey, I skateboard for fun and I do this and I do that. That was never me. I had a friend down the street. I used to like kind of just sit on a skateboard and go down their driveway, but it was never full on like, hey, I'm skateboarding down the street. I've never gone that far. And hip hop, I used to do hip-hop as a dance style a couple of years ago for like two years. Sporadically in some of her cases. But I'm not familiar with, I would say, both the cultural backstories to either activity, especially the convergence of it. So I'm not familiar where this is going, but it's an opportunity to learn. Let's take a look at the synopsis first for All the Streets Are Silent, and then we'll watch the trailer. This is according to, I believe, IMDb. In the late 80s and early 90s, two vibrant subcultures, skateboarding and hip-hop, collided in downtown New York. Okay, so I'm not from New York, so on top of that as well, the cultural melding here, that is completely unbeknownst to me. But like I said, the history is too. But this is a great way for documentaries to work, is they teach you new things. I love that. So let's take a look at this and learn more a bit. I mean, you might be in the position too where you're like me. You're like, I don't know about the history of hip hop and skateboarding themselves as events or how they converge doing it in New York. That's not familiar to me. Let's take a look and see what exactly the story is of this new film from Greenwich Entertainment, who I've covered a couple trailers from in the past. They've had some good work. But how does this project look overall? Let's take a look. Let's see if there's anything to learn. We're gonna watch this first, and we're gonna talk about it more in my condensed yourself while watching the video together. Okay, here we go. Let me get the trailer rolling.
And came all the way down from New Jersey. Just to
It's got found footage.
Land it right now.
Well, film footage. Yeah, this is never like the skateboarding I ever did as a kid.
None of us ever set out to make anything.
There's some really talented skateboarders right now.
We were just dingy kids with skateboards.
Is it Rosario Dawson?
That little connection.
Is this somebody else? It looked a lot like her.
Is what exploded and affected the rest of the world.
Filming again, Eli.
Oh, wow.
In skateboarding, you had California.
The awards-winning documentary, or at least one for selection.
We inhabited the spaces that mainstreamers didn't.
They can't do that in the West Coast, you know what I'm saying?
It all started from that nightclub, Mars.
They was playing all the freshest hip-hop.
Being a kid from the hood and picking up skateboarding, you just had to be thinking on some other shit.
We were like, hey man, we could use the rapping over the skateboarding.
This VHS tape resonated
Why not?
so strongly with people. To see skate culture and hip-hop culture like really find the synergy just made sense.
It's cool to see.
Expression, but two different presentations.
I think especially to give young people an
It don't
outlet.
matter if you're black, white, spotted, or dotted. It was like a puzzle that all came together. It didn't really matter where you came from. As long as you fit in that puzzle, you were good.
I like that spirit.
Supreme
This is
opened,
good.
and it was like a place for everyone to go and hang out.
They had the rap kids and the skate kids. People wanted to be part of that world.
Brooklyn, not frauds.
We could never have fathomed that. All these things that were like our little things became mainstream.
Look how all of these people have flourished. It's damn near the birth of so many other things.
That was right, Rosario Dawson. A lot of names in there.
All of that talent that came out of that came from a small, dedicated group of loving individuals. You wouldn't be that fly if it wasn't for that skater kid that you'd probably yell at right now.
Get off my property! Yeah, I That may be what happens on the. I'm a coastal person, so I'm flip side, complete 180 from New York. But so again, I'm kind of in a position like I'm definitely not used. I've never been to New York either, so I'm not used to the particular. But I know like New York is this big cultural, spot in the U.S. Right? You see a lot of stuff coming through. It's really cool to see. I mean, the blend. I think it does. I mean, I love the way the documentary is illustrated. First off, I think it's very high quality. The fact that this got a running at the where do they say it was? Tribeca Film Festival. It's an official selection, so I don't know if it won or not, but at least it got some awards attention, and it fits. Documentaries like this, very well made, and the fact they got actual like celebrity interviews, like Rosario Dawson's in here. I finally saw a couple names as well. Let me see. A bunch of names I don't know, like the Wu-Tang Club, yeah. There might be a couple other names as well, but they got a lot of people in here, but obviously like really high profile celebrities and people who are knowledgeable on the culture and the way these melded back then in that time period, and maybe people who are actually involved with it themselves. It's really interesting. I think it's a cool point of focus. But like I said, again, I'm not familiar with New York culture, so this is all new to me. It very much is a learning experience, but it was kind of cool to see again that spirit of like, hey, from whatever background of life you happen to come from. If like different wording, but if you're in, if you're involved with skateboarding or hip hop, you're in. You fit. It's a cool mentality to have. I think we could use a lot more of that spirit in regards to where we are, especially in society today. And we have a lot of that, but I don't think we can emphasize that more in many different aspects. But I'm very impressed with this. I am. But like I said, I grew up with people who were. I know people who were like skateboarders. Longboarding was really popular. I don't know the difference of that in terms of like skateboarding versus longboarding. But people I used to go to church with back, when I was younger on the West Coast, they were all into that. So maybe, again, that was more of like a West Coast thing. I have no idea. Again, like I said, I don't know. I don't have a position of knowledge at this standpoint. But I'm just kind of being like, well, I wonder how different it is from like different geographic positions in the U.S., right? The East has kind of got this whole convergence of hip-hop and skateboarding. What was it like for the West? I think an interesting point of research to do a comparison. Maybe it was the same. Maybe it was a bit different. Who knows? I have no idea. But again, I think it's a project of inspiration, which documentaries could easily do, not just for your personal knowledge and inspire you to learn more, but also just to understand, the world around you. I love documentaries for that, and just understand what people's experiences. Looks very strong. I'm very impressed with this new production from Greenwich Entertainment. Again, I'm not surprised it's so high quality. I believe it's from them. I've seen a couple projects in the past that have spoken to that as well. What are your guys' thoughts with All the Streets Are Silent, the convergence, either All the Streets Are Silent or All the Streets Are Silent, the convergence of hip-hop and skateboarding from 1987 to 1997. I think it's a bit of a long title, but it gets the gist clear. Let me know your thoughts down below. Don't forget to get stuff like subscribing, sharing that bell, and until we get to watch more from maybe ever a new documentary or Greenwich Entertainment or whatever film we get to watch a trailer for together next. I will see you guys then. But for now, thanks for watching this video. I love you guys. Don't forget to love your fellow man. God bless and peace.